Mr. Gaines, in the meeting earlier, you stated that the Roberts Rules stated that Chairman Cosby can, in fact, make a vote to either tie up or... Could you explain a little bit what that actually... how that comes about in the Roberts Rules, where it's situated in the book, and exactly what it says for us?
Do you want me to read this?
Yes, if you don't mind, yes.
Yes, I'm good.
Yeah, let me just explain. Under Robert Rules of Order, which was taken from parliamentary procedure. Under Robert Rules Order, which was taken from parliamentary procedure, there are guidelines for conducting meetings and there are guidelines for voting. And the chair normally is an impartial person and do not exercise his rights to vote. But the guidelines on the parliamentary procedure says that the chair does in fact have a vote, and the chair has the right to vote to make a tie on the board. He has the right to vote to break a tie on the board. He has the right to abstain his vote to create a tie on the board, and all of those are for various purposes. Most of the time when the chair would create a tie is for the purpose of the board to go back and restudy their issue and come together to form a more cohesive motion where everybody can agree. It's not that the chair would be just against one side or against the other. He would just be using his vote power to bring the board together so that they can all support what they are doing.
Okay. So in the book that you have in your hand, is there a section, a chapter, a section of that book that people that actually have a copy of that maybe at home or would like to go out and buy a copy to look at it? Is there a particular page or something that's...
This is the second edition of Robert Rules in plain English. Doris Z. Pitterman is the author of it, and it has everything laid out from the beginning of parliamentary procedure establishments. It's laid out in different contents, different parts of the meeting. Anybody can buy this book and study it and become educated on how to run meetings, what motions can be made, what motions can be declared by the chair as out of order motions. And there are a lot of things that they need to know, because many people think that if a motion was made last week to do an issue and this week they want to change that motion to undo that issue, actually the chair has the authority under the guidelines to declare that motion out of order. And don't even allow a vote to come up on it.
That kind of answered my next question, because I know today, just from listening to some of the people here at the meeting, they were expecting some previous situations where motions had made certain determinations to be undone because there was a lack of a Mr. Sutton's position.
Right.
And so I think the public kind of thought that some things that had been previously done would then today be able to be undone in re-voting, in somebody making a fresh motion to just literally undo the motions from previous meetings, so that what you're saying is that those motions, the chairman can actually declare them out of order motions.
And yes, and not even receive a vote on it.
Okay.
Now, on the flip side of that, if the board who made the motion before, if they find some error or something that they agree needs to change, then they can entertain, they can show that they're going to entertain that motion, but they have to be a party to it in order to allow it to happen. And there are provisions for that. If you advertise that I'm going to do a certain motion that I did last week, you have to advertise for it. And if you advertise for it, then a majority of the board can approve it. If you don't advertise for it, in order to get it approved, you got to have a 2/3 majority in order for that to be done. So you have to have the people who oppose or who was for it in the beginning to change their mind and vote for it. And that's permissible under the guidelines. It just don't lock you in one way or the other.
I've noticed over the past few meetings, we're getting, the same people are coming to the meetings and kind of getting more involved in the county business and what the commissioners here up here are doing. Would you recommend that they all maybe go out and buy themselves a copy of this book and educate themselves?
I would, and you're going to have to go further than just read this book. You really need to attend some classes and
Yeah. So if you want to be, involved in the county business and keep an eye on what goes on up here, it would be good for everybody then to just have a copy of this and read and educate themselves.
It would go. They would understand more so what we're doing, because what we're doing around the board is in a compact position. We don't have the whole 9 yards of the issue. It has been reduced to a very small compact decision, to a vote. And in order for them to understand what went on prior to that, they need to get this and raw copy of one of these. And there are many copies, many versions, but they all going to relate to politics.
Does ACCG recommend that County Board of Commissioners use this particular copy, or?
No, they just say Robert Rules of Order. Basically, Robert Rules of Order is going to be pretty much the same. There's some slight variation depending on the author.
Gotcha, just terminology.
Right.
But the rules are the rules.
The rules are the rules.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gaines. We appreciate your time. Have a good day.